Hello everyone, this is Hunter once again with the breakdown of the Unity and scripting portion of my Unity project. If you've watched the other breakdown videos, you're probably noticing that the visuals for this are a lot closer to real time than normal. That's because this portion of the project resulted in around 70 hours of video, and my computer didn't like it when I tried to put all of that into a single file. Instead, I have some of the work I did near the end of this portion, but a lot of the videos were repetitive and just me trying to fix my mistakes over and over, so it's not like you're missing much. But on to the good stuff. My goals for this project were to introduce key gameplay mechanics, including the dynamic dialogue options, a simple combat system, and the game's time loop. The project is comprised of what would be a tutorial area for the full game. And when I say tutorial area, I don't mean a, hey, if you press A, you can jump sort of tutorial. It's more of a immersive, oh, when I do this, this other thing happens sort of deal that's laid out in a way where the player is going to discover these things on their own. A sort of tutorial that disguises itself as normal gameplay. Um, the simple combat system is really as bare bones as you can get. I set it up so that the player and the enemy can attack each other, and that when the health of either reaches zero, they die. But that's pretty much the full extent of what I've implemented in this. The game's time loop is based on the player dying. So the player has both a sanity bar and a health bar. And while the health bar is sort of self-explanatory, the sanity bar doesn't change until the player dies. The way that it's set up right now, the player starts with a sanity value of 10, and when they're killed, they respawn at the beginning of the area with blood on their screen and their sanity value having gone down by 1. Both the sanity value dropping and the blood appearing after the player has respawned are signifiers that the player has not just experienced a normal respawn that you would see in most other games. The dynamic dialogue system was a bit of a pain, but I did get it working. When the player gets close to an NPC, a button will appear that allows them to initiate dialogue. Some of these NPCs will simply say their lines and end the dialogue, but it's also possible for them to give the player options. And the rest of the dialogue with that NPC will depend on what the player chose. However, the options that the player gets are affected by more than just the current dialogue that they're in. For example, when the player first interacts with the guide character, they are given 2 dialogue options that could answer the question that the guide gives them. And if the player interacts with the guide again once they've died at least one time, then a third dialogue option will pop up that mentions the player's death. And this option will trigger new dialogue that was not available before that hints at the time loop mechanic. The features that I have managed to implement are nowhere near the full game that I would like to create, but it's important when setting out on a project that you keep your scope in mind.